Hello and welcome to the SGD Summer Series here on Speed Racing Network from the beautiful Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina, formerly known as North Carolina Speedway back when it opened in 1965. This D-shaped oval just under 1 mile in length is the scene for tonight's action. So thank you for joining us and welcome. Qualifying is finishing up right now. We'll get you a starting grid here in a matter of seconds. In the meantime, just to update you on what's happened here so far. We kicked this series off last week at Daytona. Forrest Hamilton Jr. came away with the win. However, a little bit of twist. It was iRacing update week, and we had quite a few issues arise with just random odds and ends, drivers not being able to run. So we've decided that race will count for the old winnings, but points, we're going to start over. So we're starting here tonight basically from the Rock as round number 1 on this season. We'll dive a little bit deeper into the schedule here a little bit later tonight. Just want to highlight a couple of the sponsors that make this thing happen while we get started. You'll see in the top right hand corner of your screen all night Premier Racing Setups, a setup shop built by iRacers for iRacers. You can find out more information about them on their website. In the bottom left corner, you'll find Admin Box. This makes running simulations and broadcasts extremely easy. We have a discount code on Speed Racing Network's website if you'd like to take advantage of that. And then, of course, none of this would be possible without the logo in the bottom right-hand corner, iRacing, which provides this lovely software we're able to use. So, the grid is getting set. Let's take a look at it while we can. Teams have been updated here as well, so you'll notice there's some new team names, and that'll be a storyline we're going to follow throughout the evening. But Connor Cunningham from Park Brothers Racing takes the top spot with teammate Ben Park there in second. Sean Corcoran and Dan Park round out row number 2. Row number 3, Josh Fox and Joe Ruggles Jr. Matthias and last week's winner, Forrest Hamilton, will take up row number 4. And then Troy and Zeke round out the top 10. You'll find the rest of your starting grid as it scrolls here this evening. Thank you for joining us once again. We greatly appreciate you spending your evening with us. We can't do this without our lovely viewers that we normally have. Don't forget to like and subscribe this stream. That extremely helps us out as we continue to move forward with the great things here at Speed Racing Network. You can also go to speedracingnetwork.com right now on our online store. We got a bit of a sale going on. Save 10% on 3+ products. That sale will end tomorrow. The field is getting itself going. The green flag is out from Rockingham. So far, a pretty orderly start. Connor Cunningham started on pole. He will lead lap 1 as well. Fighting on just behind him for second. Sean Corcoran is in a gaggle of cars with the Park brothers. All these guys in the top 5 right now, back to Joe Ruggles, are some of our Truck Series regulars you see on a regular basis. We have one car going around in the back. That's Zeke Castro. That will bring out the yellow. Looks like he is going to come away without any major damage, but we saw that car immediately sideways on the exit of turn 4. Let's go take a look. Looks like he's already loose there, and great job by everybody behind him not to get involved in that. That could have been much worse. The driver that car looks like it's going to be okay. Contact. He probably wants to come down and get some fresh tires. We'll live to fight another day. The only thing that'll cost him is some track position. So he'll have to probably come down pit road and get that vehicle serviced. Don't forget here, this season, for our Steel Graphics and Design Summer Series, we not only use the ARCA car, but we utilize some of the ARCA rulebook as well, which means every race has a halfway break. So tonight being 80 laps, that will be lap number 40, at or around lap number 40. It's up to the admin staff to determine exactly when that takes place. That's a rough estimate of what we might see. Connor Cunningham so far led every lap of this event. We saw him put down the fast time in qualifying, but a little note from qualifying, this could be a change in the track temperature that we're seeing. About 2 to 3 tenths slower than what we saw them in practice. As this time of day of this race shifts more into the afternoon window, you have to imagine the track temp will go up slightly. If we look at that right now, you see the track temperature 113 degrees. So that is quite warm. Keep an eye on that first evening. Also a 19-degree wind out there too. 75% humidity, so no chance of rain, I guess is what that means. Which we won't see rain tonight. I can guarantee you that in this race. I guess never say never. A couple more quick facts about this lovely racetrack we're at. As you know, it did sit dormant for years. NASCAR just went back this year for a little Xfinity truck and ARCA Series action. Produced some great racing. We'll hope that expands in years to come, but it did hold Busch and Xfinity Series races from 1982 all the way to 2004. The trucks a little bit later. They went in 2012 and 2013. If you go all the way back, 1966 to 2004. NASCAR comes through. So quite a bit of history. It's been revitalized. It's now technically called Rockingham Speedway and Entertainment Complex. A little bit more of the entertainment business in there, much like more racetracks. We'll also talked to some drivers in the race tonight. In-race interviews. So look out for your favorite driver. You might pull him up in the booth and have a quick chat with him here this evening. So we're about to go back green here. The pace car is going to pull back to the safety. And all 18 vehicles tonight made on blue black. The last couple cars came down here there. Just a little bit of service, not necessary, but I guess why not? Back at the restart on the road. Connor Cunningham. in behind him. Oh, he got a car sideways off the corner of the inside wall. Joe Ruggles made some contact there as Matthias comes around in the number 78. We saw him have a really good run last week. And actually got the chance to talk to him briefly after the race. And he has a quick little loop in this one. This time off turn number 2. Let's take a look. Oh, a little contact there with Joe Ruggles, it looks like. That's hard contact on the inside wall. You saw the front bumper that vehicle was missing. No fast repairs here in this series. Oh, well, the front bumper was missing, and it has magically reattached. Get more here. Yeah, just off the corner, Joe Ruggles washes up. And just nothing the driver, the number 78, can do, and unfortunately that's going to take him in the inside wall. He's going to have to come down and get that thing fixed, and that's where he's currently going to be. Joined on pit road by the number 9 and number 11 machines. So a couple guys coming down here. That's Bentley McFarland and Joshua Fox. You know, fuel mileage not really concerned here with that halfway break, but kind of just want to stay out of the back, out of harm's way maybe, and hop off you can. You only have 3 sets of tires for the entire event. You don't really necessarily want to waste those early, but if you think it might be a good play to come get them now, I guess this would be a good time. Throughout the year, we presume that we won't see a ton of green flag pit stops just because the halfway break at most tracks falls well within the pit window, but like I said, never say never. You never know. I apologize for any audio issues we had to begin this broadcast. Some of the settings had switched up a little bit, so the car noise may have been a little loud, but you got to hear what these ARCA cars sound like moving around this track that's just under length. Oh, we're already doubling back up behind the pace. We're about to get this thing back underway. Connor Cunningham still is in control. He has not relinquished a single lap of control yet in this event. Got a long way to go. 70 laps. 60 laps. You also notice that yellow line that lines the racetrack. That signifies the apron. But here, that is not out of play. Don't really recommend going down there, but late in the race, we might see some blocks that take some drivers down there. So that's something to keep in mind. A track that you can definitely run multiple speeds at. Maybe spread out a little bit here. Give us a little bit more racing. Get the pace cars back to the safety pit lane. Connor Cunningham once more in control. He'll lead the field back to green here on lap number 12. Cunningham still not relinquishing control, and I don't think he wants to when he sees what's happening behind him in every restart. Third on back is just battling and battling and battling, and all drivers are a pretty good racetrack. The brothers park here in third and fourth. Dan parked a little bit high there. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact off the corner. They're able to keep it all straightened out. You just see off these turns, these guys are tightening bump. There's a really big bump here off the two. Be hard to keep the car under control, and oh, I think Connor just found that. He's going to take the leader out with him too. Oh, Connor's still spinning in traffic. He's going to settle down on the bottom. Unfortunately, Sean Corcoran caught that as well, and that was unfortunately none of his doing. Go back and take a look. We got on the apron. We got a little bit of the apron, got loose, washed up into the 43, and both of them hard contact to the inside wall. got a couple of cars that have gotten the outside wall there as well. Joshua Fox, Bentley McFarland. See a ton of damage on these machines, but you'll see here people start checking up and get on the brakes and things of a turn. And Bentley McFarland, unfortunately, more significant damage because he caught 43 as well. Unfortunately for Connor, not what he wanted to see, leading pretty much every little bit of this race before that. I took one more look. Yeah, drives on the apron, you'll see, just never is able to catch the wheel back up. And chases it. And Sean Corcoran, unfortunately, there with nothing to do. Some of these guys back here are still flying through that accident scene. Luckily, not involved. Let's see here. Just a bystander of circumstance, unfortunately, for the driver of the 43. So he's having a great run tonight. You normally see him run our truck series, and unfortunately there incurs a little bit more damage. I tell you, Joe Ruggles might be a good view of this. Actually, I don't think we have his replay. Otherwise, we'll go back and take a look. I think we're going to have that. Anyway, just an excuse to say hi to our buddy Joe Ruggles. We've seen already involved in one incident tonight, but he's still got a clean number 96 Chevy SS. The field is doubling up here. So with all that chaos, Brothers Park now occupy the front row. That is Dan Park in the 7, Brother Ben in the 17. Racing team, obviously. 11 and 24 made it back off pit road just fine. They're going to be okay. Bentley McFarland in the 9, Sean Corcoran in the 43. They have remained on the pit lane still, so we do believe that damage is going to be a problem. So we'll circle back on that here in a little bit and see if they're able to continue. Again, no fast repairs in this series, so significant damage, unfortunately. You kind of got to live with it. But now that'll be Dan Park's job, who selected the outside lane here to bring the field back into our restart zone. Last week's winner, Forrest Hamilton Jr., you see right behind that number 7 car. He's working his way up to the front. Going back to green here on lap number 18. Got a green flag lap under our belt here. Dan Park up front, Forrest Hamilton Jr. taking the 2nd spot. And then the first we've spoken about Andrew Harris in that bright orange number 87 getting loose off the corner. He's up to P number 3. Big loser on this restart is Ben Park in the 17. He's falling off. We're back to the 5th place. But everybody getting a little bit more single file now, which could be a good sign for some green flag racing. We'll hold our breath here, but that's how this does to appear happening. As long as nobody clips the apron or gets loose over the ball out of 4 or 2, I think we'll be just fine. But every time we get this shot that looks down the front stretch and the back stretch, you just see off corner exit. You got to catch a little handful of wheel to keep these cars underneath you, which is always fun as a driver, but can lead to races that include plenty of yellow flags. So that's what we're seeing for tonight. So I would say just a little bit of color groove here. We'll still have that halfway break at or about lap number 40. See a couple different lines being run up by here by the leaders. And kind of running a little bit off the wall. You see Forrest Hamilton hounding him. He's running all the way up against the wall. We've seen him almost brush it a couple times. Andrew Harris follows him up. And then behind him, you see Cosby in the number 18. He's painting that yellow line, so there's multiple ways to get around here. I will say that. He does not take the yellow line around. But you did see the puff of smoke coming off the right side of the 3 yet. Shows you that outside wall a little closer than it might originally appear. Well, the battle for the lead in just a few seconds. Again, thank you everybody for joining us here on Speed Racing Network this season. Steel Graphics and Design Summer Series with these lovely ARCA vehicles. Glad to have you. Please like and subscribe to help us reach more avid race fans. And of course, finding any broadcast issues incorrectly, leave those in the comments. If you want to join the action, you still can. You can visit speedracingnetwork.com for more details. You'll find that information scrolling across the bottom of your screen on the evening. Well, this little pack of 7 up here up front. This is kind of where the show's at. Racetrack. The real battle here is, I would say, for second, Forrest Hamilton and Andrew Harris. And I don't think we're going to talk much about racing without Andrew Harris being involved this season. Unfortunately, last week couldn't run because of that update issue we talked about off the top of the show. And because of that, he joined us in the broadcast. If you want to go watch how his broadcasting skills stack up to his racing skills, that broadcast is available on our Speed Racing Network variety of channels, whether that's YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. You can catch us on all those spots. Little update for you. Sean Corcoran still remains in the pits, along with the driver to number 9, Bentley McFarland. These guys are not able to racing action after that last season. Here trying to get some damage fixed and maybe accumulate a few points if they can. And this battle for second just will not give up. Pretty much running a diamond shape in the corner. Kind of in the middle, letting that car drift up in the center and then cutting the wheel back down. Now Ben Clark, after losing a lot of positions on that restart, he throws himself back in there. Now we see Troy Techmeyer with his hat in the ring. We haven't talked about Troy yet tonight, another Speed Racing Network veteran. How to get it done around here. Now it's just becoming a big crowd up at the top of the racetrack. Separated by a car length or less, and now everybody's stacking up here near the front. Dan Parks getting a little bit of pace. These guys maybe saving. Oh, Forrest Hamilton Jr. into the outside wall. Ben Parks gets a touch of that. It looked like some significant damage on the 17. See the whole front bumper missing on that machine. Forrest also got in the outside wall. Interesting damage physics on that, if I say so myself. Typically, just bumping into the car in front of you does not take the whole front bumper off the vehicle. That's apparently what has happened to number 17. Back up front, Andrew Harris, he's coming from Mr. Dan Park. These are teammates battling up here for the race. Andrew Harris wants a little bit of redemption after not being able to run last week. Joined us up here in the booth, showing you why he'd rather be out there. Not with us, even though we loved having him in the booth last week, provided great insight. Well spoken about racing. But his talent's definitely belong out here on the racetrack. I can't say it the same for myself, unfortunately. Just watching lap times the last couple of times through. 87 has consistently been the fastest car on the racetrack, but has caught the back of the 7 and hasn't really been able to do anything since. 30 years is a real thing in these ARCA vehicles. You see how far these wheels are. There's quite a rake that develops. Kind of similar to what you would consider the last intermediate package on the Gen 6 race cars that we saw, the ones that those racing weren't very good. Kind of see that. But I would say these cars still have a larger handling factor than what we saw there. Can't really smash the gas all the way around any racetrack, except the super speedway. Battle is just not sorting itself out yet. We got a little bit more action back here. Forrest Hamilton, Techmeyer, they're going to have a slight disagreement over who's going to take the 4th spot. So that'll settle down for a moment. And we'll see that Troy bottom feed, kicking that inside of Mark, is making some work with it. He's saving a little bit more tires than everybody else, and that's going to be a strategy for him thus far. He usually takes over that 4th spot. See the 17, the damage we touched on earlier. He's in a battle here for 7th. Tejas, who we saw get in some trouble earlier. We've also made some more audio adjustments to try to rectify some of the vehicle sound problems we've been having. So I apologize for that if you can't hear us clearly. Hopefully this issue is now resolved. And we're going forward. Michael Codwell, number 21, first time we talked about him tonight. He takes over P number 5. So Forrest Hamilton is becoming the guy we're seeing slip through the running order along with the 17. Back, we got some action back here. Josh Fox, David Davis, Robert Richardson in his bunch. Steve Castro throwing himself in the mix. We saw him be the first yellow, but he is on his way back up the field here. Battle for 11th place. It's probably going to sort itself out down here in 3 and 4. Number 5, Robert Richardson is going to join this little action here. Connor Cunningham seeing that Jeff Gordon Flame lookalike number 24 back there. We saw have heavy damage after clipping the apron and getting into the inside wall in that last caution. Looks like he's got that thing repaired well enough to keep up with some of these guys, but not the pace necessarily work through the field. Also, interesting development, the 22 Matthew Cornell has down on the pit lane here. It looks like he's got some damage. Let's see if we can find out where this occurred. Ooh, the 5 gets into his left rear and hard impact to the inside wall there for 22. His first SRN start here this evening. He was able to drive it back, but oh yeah, looks like he's got considerable damage to that machine. So he remains on pit road. Pretty similar to some of the other incidents that we've seen over in that area. Up front, we had a little swap here when we're checking out all the other action. Andrew Harris has moved to the lead and gotten around Dan Park, but hasn't really built up a huge gap yet. Andrew running about 10.5 to 2 tenths quicker lap, and this is our halfway caution. Full course yellow here on lap number 43. This is the halfway break we discussed on or about lap 40. Admins, we had a lot of early caution, so can they kind of let that one run out a lap or 2 extra? And Andrew Harris is the guy up front here at the halfway break. We'll let him get caught up here. We'll let him take his pit stop, and then we'll talk to the driver of the number 87. So right here, everybody's probably going to come down pit road, get 4 tires and some race fuel, get back out there and be able to finish this race. That's what I think is going to happen. Never say never. The overall tire wear here is, I would say, pretty considerable. Oh, 4 tires is usually a good idea. Be coming down here in orderly fashion. Plenty of room here in the pit boxes here at Rockingham to take care of your business. Let Andrew Harris get off pit road here. We'll talk to him. Mr. Andrew Harris, you got a copy. Good. Well, you're leading at the halfway break. We saw you just kind of methodically make your way up there and get past the number 7. How's your race going so far, and what do you need to close out the deal here?
A little bit different, so see what happens.
All right, well, my number 87, Amp Energy, bright orange looks good, looks even better up front. I know you'd rather be out there making circles and up in the booth with us, but good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we talk to you again before the night's over. That'd be a pretty good sign.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Have a good one.
Over the number 7, Andrew Harris. We had an issue there with the audio as well, and we caught the very end of that, so we apologize for that. Still working out a few little technical things here on week number 2. We'll get it sorted out for you. Well, we're going to go back green here. When we do, there'll be 34 laps remaining here at Rockingham, and we'll see if this run looks like how we saw the end of the first half of the race start. Pace car dives onto pit lane. Andrew Harris will bring the field back to green here on lap number 47. Andrew Harris comes back around. He'll lead that lap. Pretty orderly action up front. Ooh, we got a big wreck back here in the back. Oh boy. A lot of vehicles involved here. Most notably saw the 13 of Zeke Castro almost upside down. You can find out. Turn. Oh, Joe Ruggers gets hooked by the 5, I believe that is. And unfortunately, everybody behind him has nowhere to go. Entry. It's tough to say there. Behind the 13. Well, he might get in the outside wall there a little bit before the 5 made contact. Tough to see. Connor Cunningham. That's a good job. And Parks on pit road. He's got a little bit of damage here. Oh yeah, he just got cut up in the very end of this thing. Kind of drove up on in there. Doesn't look terrible. He did regain a front bumper since the last time we saw him. So if things can't look up, that's what we're looking at. Daniel Davis was involved here as well, and he just has nowhere to go. Right side damage there for the 10. Overall, looks like he's going to be able to continue. Looks like that 4 of David Davis. Yeah, this Daniel Davis, David Davis thing is not going to get any easier this year. So it looks like he will be able to continue as well. The 5 looks like he should be pretty decent. Joshua Fox back there in the 11. We're gonna have to get a look at this from his view, because that was some impressive wreck avoidance. Watch this. Oh, you hear it there, just a little clip in the door, but I don't know how much of that was a little netcode action, how much of it was real. Take one more look at it here. It's just hard here to avoid incidents, especially narrow with that pit wall shooting out right there, but I'll give him credit. Good job. A little bit of highlight reel action there from Josh Fox for us. Well, considerable damage to the 17, 13, and 22. They remain on the pit lane. 22 is from that incident we saw earlier. Last incident claimed the lives of the 13. It looks like the 17 as well as possibly retired from the event. I don't see him anymore in the frame. All right. Well, resetting it for you. Andrew Harris still up front. Dan Park up here as well. We've seen them kind of hang out with us all night. Coleman Cosby, haven't talked about him in the driving number 18. You see that awesome shark. Looking scheme up there in the 18 on the top row. He's up here now. Troy Techmeyer's made himself a nice cozy spot in the top 4. So we'll see what happens here. Resetting it here. We'll take the green. 29 laps to go here from Rockingham, and we'll see if we're done with them yellows yet. Tight battle up front. Andrew Harris wins that. Coleman Cosby's going to try to cross over here on Dan Park. They're going to make contact into one. Dan Park's going to get the fence. So does the 32. And Dan Park's around. Oh, catches Troy Techmeyer. The 3 spins, and we got another. Bunch him up. Man, Troy was having such a good run there. Looks like he might be okay. That 7 car, not really. Thought Forrest Hamilton Jr. slide into that as well. Last week's winner. Doesn't look like there's too bad of damage there. But this wreck started here at the entrance to turn 1. 18 and 7 get together. They get together again, it looks like. And 7 loops it, and Troy has nowhere to go. And the 3 slid into that. I think that's the 4 back there. Davis that just stopped. And honestly, that's some of the best wreck avoidance you can do. As long as there's nobody behind you, just come to a stop. Let it clear itself out, and then go back to work. Take another look at this here. Contact spin. We saw the contact here. I think there's going to be another little contact there. Ooh, that looks like net code. Like a little bit of net code there, and what we mean by that, because it's probably not a term you hear a lot of. You know, everybody's racing from a different part of the country, different internet speeds and such, and sometimes iRacing is going to predict where 2 cars make contact, and it'll act like they do, but they never do. You'll see a little bit of space here between the 2 that second time they come together right there. They don't actually make contact, but the net code turns to 7. He just overcorrects and unfortunately claims the right side of the 32 and the right side of the 3. And like I said, good job by the 4 of David Davis there to not get himself involved in that. So, while they're cleaning this up, let's take a second to hear from one of our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Well, we hope you've enjoyed your evening with us so far here at Speed Racing Network. Thanks for riding along with us and bearing with us as we've battled a couple different audio gremlins and all kinds of stuff we got going on here this evening. Again, just gearing up for the summer season, trying to iron out a few of the technical things that sometimes you can't iron out until it's showtime. So we appreciate you bearing with us, and hopefully we put on a good show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Speed Racing Network so you don't miss any of the action this season. Well, we'll have 24 to go here at this restart. Now, I want to say we're done bunching them up, but you never know. Andrew Harris still out front, making it happen. He's going to bring us back to green. 24 to go from Rockingham. Andrew Harris does his job. He's clear out the lead. Got a nice comfortable lead. Connor Cunningham, who clipped the apron wreck big earlier, somehow now he's in P2. Yeah. We'll have to maybe talk to him after this and see how that was possible. Another car we saw getting the hump wall pretty good earlier in the 78. He's up here in P3, so good rebound for those two. First time we've really seen Robert Richardson up here in the top 5. He slops into P number 4. Josh Fox, who we saw do a great job avoiding that second to last accident. Rounds out on top 5. Well, looks like these guys have kind of settled in maybe a little bit now here. Joe Ruggles up to P number 7. And then this little group back here is kind of where the battle is. Troy Techmeyer, David Davis, Coleman Cosby for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Looks like Troy was maybe able to get out of that wreck without too terrible damage because he's continuing what looks to be some still pretty decent pace. Got a couple drivers kind of off the back of this thing here by themselves, maybe with some significant damage. You see the 3 of Forrest Hamilton, the 7 of Dan Park, and the 10 of Daniel Davis. Well, Andrew Harris pretty clear out to the lead here. We're going to run you through the field, give you a feel of what they're seeing, and give you a chance to meet some of the drivers. Give you a little sights and sounds here as well. Well, there's a little look at the top 10 here this evening. Go back up front. It's still Andrew Harris. A couple things to note. Connor Cunningham was able to get back around the 78. What's also interesting is just a handful of laps ago, Connor Cunningham ran the fastest lap of the race at a 23.879. So Connor's not done here. He wants a little bit more of the action. He is closing that gap. Let's look here at the lap time history, and you'll see he's gaining just little by little on Andrew Harris. Just over a tenth that last time by, and this time he lost a little bit. So you gain a little, you lose a little. As he story of racing here on the ovals. Right now that gap sits under just half a second, and we'll see how that continues to develop. Connor Cunningham, though, just an absolutely incredible rebound from a pretty significant accident earlier when he clipped the apron and collected a whole bunch of vehicles, and pretty much had enough cautions to, I guess, get that that vehicle all fixed up, and gains a 10th and a half that last time by. That was big gain. Just a quarter of a second now to separate the two, and getting to Andrew's one thing, passing him is another. And I know these two are teammates, but when it comes to going for a Speed Racing Network victory, sometimes it doesn't matter. We've seen that in the past. I know these Park Brothers Racing guys play pretty nice together, so I don't think we'll see anything too egregious. But hey, they're not afraid to use a little bit of that sheet metal. They don't pay for it. They don't need it. They might use it. And right up to that back bumper goes the 24. Just under 10 laps to go, so Connor's going to make a move. This is the time. Put the track map up for you. You'll see there's a little bit of lap traffic as well in this. Track map is not wanting to load up, so. But you'll see right in front of these guys, there's the lap traffic we're talking about there. And what right now is just one vehicle. 10. He's going to get all the way out of the way, and Andrew saw him get in the wall, maybe pulls that wheel a little too far left and gets a little loose. I thought Connor would maybe have a chance into 3 there to get him, but he's definitely going to get alongside of him on corner exit. No contact there. And they are side by side almost at the line. Still think it's going to be hard to pass that 87 when he's running that middle groove, because you're not giving the 24 a lot of room to come up. You're not also risking getting into the fence. That's what I worry when you see that 87 drift all the way up. Connor, though, on the bottom in 3 and 4 makes a lot of time. That's where Connor's making his time. Just, it's hard with that momentum on the top side. That 87 is going to have that good run off the corner every time. I think the trick is going to be if the 24 can get in the corner hard enough into 1 or 3 to slide up in front of the 87. Slide job, if you will. We're going to come back. We're going to have 4 to go here. And it's going to be a Park Brother teammate battle between the 87 of Andrew Harris, the 24 of Connor Cunningham for the victory here tonight. Nothing's really changed here. Connor's caught him, but just hasn't been able to get around him yet. 3 to go. Andrew Harris might have found just a little bit extra something. You see Connor driving it super deep into 3 there, trying to gain all he can, but he's just not going to be able to compete with that momentum that Andrew gets off the corner. 2 to go. Really good drive there into the corner by the 24, but just can't slide up and take it. He's got a good chance here into 3 if he drives it in hard. He's going deep. Not going to be able to slide all the way in front of him, I believe. Oh, tight. White flag, dead heat at the line. 87-24, this is for the win. Connor technically led that lap. Side by side down the backstretch. They're going to settle this for 3 and 4. Hard send, 24, gets into the 87, pushes him up the track. 87's going to have momentum off the corner. Coming to the line. This is for the win. Andrew Harris by a nose over Connor Cunningham. Michael Caldwell comes back with P3. That's your podium. 7/100ths of a second. Your margin of victory. Wow. What a battle. You know, we talked to Andrew at the halfway break and asked him what he needed to get this one home, and he said to keep it out in front. And, well, Other than one lap, that's what he did in that last run. Connor technically got the lead in the penultimate lap. He led at the stripe, but was not able to close the job. But now we're going to give Andrew Harris the floor to burn this one down, and after he does, we'll talk to him. All right, we have our winner. It's time to talk to him. Andrew Harris, back in the broadcast booth. I said if we'd be speaking to you again, that'd be a really good thing. And, well, here we are. You're the winner tonight. Great battle to the end. Talk to us about the second half of your evening.
Yeah, that was awesome. Connor, late race or late run speed. Talk about it. That was incredible. I thought he had me. That last turn, I tried to, I got it clear. I was going to go to the bottom, and then last second he said it wasn't clear. Connor told me, he's like, I'm going to drive it deep, and somehow we touched, and I thought he was going to pull away, but I don't know. The top ended up prevailing. I don't know. I'm at a last words. I didn't think I was going to win this one.
Well, like I said, your talents belong on the racetrack, not the broadcast booth. You proved that here this evening. But yeah, I was a little worried for both you and Connor when he drove it in on the apron into the second to
Was he
last
on the
corner.
apron?
Yeah, oh yeah, he was well on the flat. Kind of what wrecked himself earlier, almost the same thing. And somehow you guys both came out with it. But I know as teammates we might see a little bit of contact, nothing too egregious, because you guys still wanted to come home 1-2 and bring the win home for the team. But I mean, just a classic ARCA finish, something great to watch. Talk to us a little bit about what makes these cars a lot of fun. I mean, you said last week not a ton of laps in these cars, but now you've had a full race under your belt. What do you like about it? How do you think this is going to kind of play out to what we're going to see racing-wise the rest of this season?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I know it at this track now. It's super tight, but you can be aggressive coming out of the corner. I don't know if that's low horsepower, high downforce. I'm not sure, but you can be really aggressive coming out of the corner. I think that plays really well into me, the way that I like to drive. Darlington style things where I can put it up on the fence, kind of arc it down, get into a rhythm. So I would say those kind of things I seem to really enjoy. Also, they seem to be able to take a little bit of damage. I think I hit Connor when he spun out the first time when I was going down the backstretch. I think I hit him and bounced up in the wall. Didn't seem to get any damage. Didn't even affect me at all. So I like that about it as well.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too because we also saw weird damage model things. I think Ben Park got in the back of somebody. He lost his whole front bumper, came down pit road. All of a sudden, his front bumper was back and he was running fast times. And obviously, for the 24 to get in his big incident earlier and get it fixed up enough to battle for the lead, that shows you that it can take a little bit of damage. But before we let you go tonight, who do you have to thank for your efforts on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I just got to thank Park Bros Racing for bringing me on, to do this in this series. You guys for putting this series on in the broadcast. My wife for letting me do this every week. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Steele's coming out with a new wrap for me that will be on the car eventually, so I got to thank him for that.
Gotta plug the series namesake, right? Michael Steele does some great paint work, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a few of his paints over the course of the year. So, congratulations, Andrew, on your win tonight, and we'll see you in 1 week's time.
Thanks, sir. Peace.
That was your winner tonight, Andrew Harris in the 87. Did a great job describing how all that went down with a teammate. And like I said, broadcast booth last week to the winner's circle this week. Can't ask for much better than that. Well, next up on the list, the guy who gave it just as big of an effort, but didn't quite come home with the prize he wanted. Always a good interview. Let's talk to Mr. Connor Cunningham. Connor Cunningham, you're up in the broadcast booth. Congrats on second place tonight. I know you wanted a little bit more, but I would have to say you probably are happy with second after how this thing started.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions right off the rip. Let me tell you. Didn't think I would get the pole because I ran the same line as I usually do here, but apparently that got me the pole. Me pulling a no skill issue right off the rip in turn 2, it was a great start to my night. And then having to work my way up, pray for cautions, which we had, and then sorry to some of my teammates that were involved in those wrecks, but it helped me get my car back to 100% because I think I had a minute and 50 seconds of damage to fix to get back to being competitive.
Yeah,
So,
I will say too on that point, we talked to Andrew a little bit, and he said he hadn't run these ARCA cars a ton, but he noticed that it feels like they could take a little bit of damage. Like you can kind of mess them up a little bit and get it fixed pretty good. And I have to say, yeah, that's probably the case because we saw your car all kinds of beaten battered, and then I look up and I'm like, Connor's in third. Now he's in second. Like, what's going on? Do you feel like that's something that makes these cars a little bit more exciting? The fact that you can kind of be a little more rough and tumble with them and not have to worry about some of the things that you do in kind of your normal stock cars?
I think so, yeah. You get and do a lot. It's kind of like, well, I wouldn't say next gen because now they're all over the place now. But yeah, I think they're a bit more fun being bang more now. So I'm kind of a fan of that.
So, two questions here. One, if the 87 wasn't your teammate, would you guys have both finished that race 1-2? And then second, how do you feel this series is going to play out the next couple weeks with this car?
If the 87 was my teammate, it'd probably still be a 1-2 because I don't want to wreck the guy, you know. I mean,
That's valid.
That's not how I roll, you know.
Yeah.
Like a door check is good enough. Just didn't want to end a man's career, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
So, I think it'll be interesting to see who's gonna be able to show up and show us what's up in these ARCA cars.
All right, man. Well,
Like,
that all
there'll be
sounds
multiple people.
like a plan. But before we drop you back down in the lovely waiting area, who do you have to thank for your weekly efforts?
Oh boy, let me begin with Steel Graphics and Designs. I'm just making a beautiful old 24 car right off the rip today.
Yeah, that thing
So
looked good.
thank you. Yeah, I was praying for it. But I like to thank Avant and God, I already messed it up. Avant Edge Marketing and Management. God, I'll look through the list. Hold on, give me a second. Bolify for the main sponsor. Sure, thank you, homie. You for broadcasting.
I appreciate it.
And Park Brothers Racing for letting me still be in this team. I don't know why they let me in here.
Well, I would have to
still let
say
me.
podium finishes probably help your effort a little bit on being part of the team. So as long as you keep that up, I think you'll have a pretty good shot at it. But great run this evening, second place. Beautiful Steel Graphics and Design paint scheme, which of course we're going to talk about a lot this year. Good luck in 1 week's time. We'll see you there.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep. Connor Cunningham, second place finish. And you hear the top two both reference Steel Graphics and Designs. That's the series namesake. That's who painted this lovely 24 car you see on the screen right now. And sounds like there's a new paint for the 87 coming next week that he's working up. So if you're interested in any of these lovely paint schemes, and they paint everything. I mean, if it's a car, they can paint it. And so if you're interested in that, you can look up Steel Graphics Designs and join their Discord server. And get some project requests in. They do charge a little bit for it, but hey, you're getting great work, and man, I'm really impressed with some of their stuff I see. So we got one more driver to talk to here tonight, and we haven't really talked to him much before, so this is going to be a little bit new to us. But that is the driver of the number 21, Mr. Michael Caldwell, who we're dragging in the booth right now. Driver the number 21, third place finish tonight. Talk to us about it.
Ooh-wee, 21 car getting a podium, baby. What do you think about the new guy?
Hey, we had a new guy win his first SRN start last week. So it's been a good start for the new guys. Entertaining race tonight, lots of chaos. We didn't really talk about you too much because you weren't in the chaos. So talk to us a little bit about how you were able to avoid that and kind of maximize your day with a podium finish.
Yeah, my strategy coming into this after, 30 laps of practice was just to be conservative, and it paid off. I didn't expect to be on pace that well, but save tires and be conservative, and it worked out.
Yeah, and we've noticed too that with these ARCA cars, sometimes it rewards a little bit more of the conservative racing style. So I would actually probably find more success in this series than I would in most other forms of motorsports for that reason. But talk to us a little bit. I mean, obviously you're new to Speed Racing Network. You know, what your thoughts are on the racing so far. Are you looking forward to any specific tracks as we continue our schedule?
Yeah, I love the super speedways. I'm ready to go fast and run the draft and see what happens, but that's going to be a lot more team oriented. Being an independent driver, I don't know how that's going to play out, but yeah, I was just finding a place to race and found Speed Racing Network on Facebook, and seems like a great group of drivers. First official race, but we raced Daytona too, and seems like a good group of drivers.
Yeah, we like having fun around here. Sometimes we get a little bit too competitive and get at each other's throats, but you know that's racing, right? You're gonna find that anywhere. But we're glad to have you here with us this season. Hopefully you join us for our year-round seasons. We have too. We have a ton of stuff planned for season 8 that's going to be exciting that we're going to be announcing pretty soon. So before we let you back to your evening, do you have anybody you'd like to thank for your weekly efforts here in the service?
Just got one person watching. Thank him for tuning in. Otherwise, pretty independent, self-sponsored, ready to run some races.
All right, man. Well, let's find you a sponsor. Let's find you a team, and we'll get you set up for success. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
That was the driver, the number 21, third place finisher tonight, Michael Caldwell. So 2 weeks in a row, we've talked to some new guys to Speed Racing Network, so that's a good sign, right? I would think so. Well, we had a little bit of everything this evening. And by a little bit of everything, I mean a little bit of everything. There's a lot to go back and recap, and you can do it all. As soon as we're done here tonight, this replay becomes available on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. You can go back and rewatch the whole race if you want. You can go back and clip the interviews. There's a lot of things you can do with this broadcast. So we ask that you do that in a way that respects the streaming rights of Speed Racing Network and observes the privacy policy you can find on speedracingnetwork.com. If you'd like to join us for this series, you can go to speedracingnetwork.com for details. It's a $25 entry for the season. All the information, including the link to the Discord server, can be found there. I leaked it a little bit earlier on accident, but in case you didn't see it, this is the remainder of our schedule. So we completed the 80 laps of Rockingham here this evening. We're at Kansas next week. Then Iowa, Michigan, North Wilkesboro, Kern County, Milwaukee Mile, and we wrap all this up at Charlotte. Now, there is a chance in there, we're currently discussing, that Daytona might get thrown back into the fold. We ran it last week on an update week, and that didn't work out quite as planned, so the idea is maybe that can find its way back in there. We'll see. Preferably not the last race of the year for points reasons, but anyway, it might fit back in there. So that's the remainder of the schedule. You can see the times there on the bottom. If you'd like to join us, again, we'd love to have you. Get in touch with us here at Speed Racing Network. We'll try to make that happen. Also, like I hinted to a couple minutes ago, we have our Speed Racing Network Season 8 coming up. We're going to have announcements kind of just coming out periodically about that, including when it's going to be, when it starts, when registration opens, what vehicle we're running, and what the schedule looks like. All that's kind of being reworked right now as we kind of retool for kind of a little Speed Racing Network refresh that we've needed to make happen for a couple years here. So before we sign off for the evening, again, I want to talk about some of the sponsors and some of the people that make this happen every week. Admin Box on the bottom left, we talked about them. Built by iRacers for iRacers to make race control as easy as possible. Each box, you just plug it in USB. It's pre-programmed. You have no key binding, nothing like that. So even people like me can use it without issue. You can use code SRN-BOX, that's BOXX, to save 10% on your Admin Box order. Thermo Pro, we didn't get to their commercial tonight, but we for sure will next week. They produce the best wireless meat thermometers for household use. If you're a barbecue enthusiast, you like the smokers, the Blackstones, anything like that, Thermo Pro is the way to go. You can use code ThermoProTeam to save 15% on your order. You can also find them at most major retailers. And then in the top right corner, Premier Racing Setups. They're the longest running setup shop in iRacing. They offer different options for a bunch of different vehicles. So you can take your sim racing career as far as you want it to go. You can use code SpeedNetwork15 to save 15% on your order for Premier Racing Setups. There's a lot of iRacing updates that have just come out. We got the Gen 4s. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So go to Premier Racing Setups if you'd like to try out any of that. So tonight's winner, Andrew Harris, he kind of will lead off the points or chase. We'll have point standings posted on speedracingnetwork.com as well as our social media outlets, as well as the replay link if you'd like to go back and watch this action. So on behalf of myself, Jonathan Byer, the president of Speed Racing Network and your broadcast partner here tonight, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support Speed Racing Network, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.